everyone, I'm back for my second ever YouTube video and my first ever monthly reading wrap-up video, which is so exciting because it's really something I've been wanting to do for a while now. I know that I do my wee reviews on TikTok and Instagram and on YouTube Shorts on here with the Spinny wheel, but I do read some books out with that, and also it just gives me a chance to kind of reflect on what I've read this month and talk a little bit more in depth about what I thought of all of them. So yeah, really excited to get into it. So this month I read 9 books, 4 physical books, 2 ebooks and 3 audiobooks. And my average rating on Storygraph was 3.58, so not too bad. Kind of a mixed bag, but overall I had a good time. At the start of this month I had just started reading Buffalo Hunter Hunter by Stephen Graham Jones, and I ended up really enjoying this. It did really take me a while to get into, but once I was into the main part of the story I was absolutely loving it. At the very start of the book we're in the present day with an academic who has just found out about this journal that's from one of her ancestors. He was a pastor in a small town in 1912, and the rest of the book pretty much is told in those journal entries. It documents him taking the confession of a Native American man over several weeks, and he is telling the pastor about his life story as a vampire. It was so great. The journal part's absolutely amazing. It had classic vampire stuff in it, but also had really new vampire lore that I'd never read before that was so exciting. I don't want to give it away here, but it's really cool. I'm glad I didn't know about that going in, because I think it really made me a lot more interested in the story after a slow start. Stephen Graham Jones is a Native American author, and obviously this book is really heavily about Native American story, and it really said so much about how people were treated and the kind of divides and racism and things in that time, and also extending to now, obviously. And I really found that so interesting. I feel like I learned stuff from it, so I thought that was great too for a vampire story. It really had everything. It's a horror in the way where there's a vampire and there's a lot of blood and guts, but it's a lot of information. Like it's quite dense. You do get a lot of information, but it wasn't boring at all. After I got past that first chunk, I was so in. It took me like 10 days to read the first quarter and then 2 days to read the whole rest of the book, because I was so engrossed in it by that point. I really liked the different POVs, like between the pastor and the vampire, just showing the two sides of the story, and also being inside the pastor's head gives you kind of unreliable narrator, because he is just a old man from that time who is part of the problem. His perception of this man is crazy, and yeah, I really enjoyed that, the unreliable narrator kind of vibes from that. And yeah, so the middle part of this book where we're in the journal, like 5 stars from that. The whole middle part of the book is 5 stars. However, the bits in the present day were just not for me. I think that's why it took me so long to start it. I think at the start you're in present day, then you're in the pastor's point of view, then you're in the vampire's point of view, and it's very quick, and I struggled at first to kind of lock in, because you're getting fired through all different stuff really quickly. So I think that's why I struggled to get into it. Then I was into it, loving it. Then we went back to the present day, and I was like, I just didn't think anything that happened in the ending was needed. I think the story was good enough as the journal, and I kind of wish it had just stayed as the journal, to be honest. I'm obviously not going to say what happens at the end in here, because I do still think people should read this. I thought it was really good if you're into historical stuff, horror stuff, vampire stuff. It's really good, and I do recommend it. I thought the ending was absolutely ridiculous. I don't understand why it was there. So I ended up rating it 4 stars, because I was like, I have to take a star off for how long it took me to get into, and the ending that I was like, what? So half a star for each of those things. Honestly, if it was just the journal part, it would have been a 5. I was so into it. I can't emphasise that enough. I still recommend this. Still really liked it. But yeah, would have been a 5 without the present day bits. They just weren't for me. So that's that one. Number 1. I really do love to talk forever. Okay, so that one took me a couple of weeks to finish, so while I was reading that physically, I did finish a couple of audiobooks. So the first one I read was The Love Hypothesis by Ali Hazelwood. This was my first Ali Hazelwood. I see people talking about her all the time, and I know the movie of this is coming out, and I like to have read the book before I watched the movie, so that's kind of why I wanted to listen to this one. I will say I'm not the biggest contemporary romance lover. It's not one of my favourite genres. I've never read one and thought, oh, I loved that, 5 stars. I completely understand why people enjoy them. They're just not so much for me. Really, I'm just nosy. When I see a lot of people talking about a book or a movie coming out about a book and people are excited, I'm like, well, I need to know. So yeah, I don't have too much to say about this really. It was fun time. I'm glad that I've read it and now I know what happens and now I know what everyone's talking about with this book. I definitely would still be open to checking out some more Ali Hazelwood stuff, so if anyone has any specific ones that you really like, let me know, and maybe I'll listen to them next. But yeah, I rated it 3 stars and it was fine. It was fun time. So much of it was about she is a young and a little girl, a little baby, and he is a big man. And that's not a problem with this book, just a problem with just life, I guess. But you know, what can we do? Yeah, that's really all I have to say. I rated it 3 stars and I think my review said, let's see. Guys, did you know she's younger and tiny and he's older and so tall? Did you know? That's really all I thought. I'm really sorry. I feel like I'm coming across really mean about this book. I did not like it. I just don't really have much to say about it. Because I thought it was fine. I enjoyed it as much as I would enjoy a contemporary romance audiobook. It was entertaining and I'll definitely be checking out the movie. So yeah, all good. The next one I listened to, another contemporary romance, is First Time Caller by B.K. Borison. The reason I listened to this one is someone recommended it to me, and also I listened to Good Spirits as part of my Christmas rom-com listening spree, and it was so fun. I really had fun with it. So I was like, okay, I'll give B.K. Borison another go, and I'll go into this one because people seem to really, really like it. I know that it's only a year or 2 old, I think. I found the characters just very boring. Yeah, it was fine. B.K. Borison writes everything as a Gilmore Girls AU fanfic, which honestly I'm in. I love Gilmore Girls, and I want to know how many times she's watched Gilmore Girls. I would love to know how many times has she watched that show, because every book I have read that is Gilmore Girls. Because I also did Love Light Farms at Christmas as well, and that's Gilmore Girls too. They're all Gilmore Girls. I didn't like this one as much as Love Hypothesis, nearly forgot. Love Hypothesis, because by the end the characters were just a wee bit annoying to me, especially the guy. And it's all like, oh, they knew they both liked each other for ages, but it's like, we can't be together, and I'm like, well, why not? There wasn't really a proper reason of why not, and that was just annoying me. I was like, the whole plot of the book is he's a radio host and she's like trying to find someone through his radio show, like a matchmaking situation. So I'm like, well, you found someone, him. I didn't really see what the problem was, and that was just, it was just making me quite frustrated to read, because I was like, you guys are being held back by barriers you made yourself. And that was just annoying me. So yeah, I rated this one 2.5. Okay, the next book I read was on my Kindle, and it was Best Offer Wins by Marissa Cucino. This was for the Literally Dead book club by Books and Lala. And I really enjoyed it. It was really fun, fast-paced. It's about a woman who is house hunting and she's really struggling to get a house that she wants. She keeps getting her offers turned down, and it's driving her crazy because she wants to be in her forever home with her husband so they can have a baby, and it's just getting her really stressed out. So she falls in love with this house and she's like, I will do whatever it takes to get this house, and she really takes that to the extreme. It was really fun. I read it really quickly. I was enjoying it. I don't know how I feel about the ending. I did not like it. I did feel like I was enjoying her getting crazier and crazier throughout the book, but still the final jump felt like quite big. It didn't make her crazy enough before that point for that to feel like in character to me. But I did enjoy it. It was a good, fun, fast-paced thriller. I would still recommend it. The bit on the front here says Selling Sunset meets Gone Girl, which, how fun is that? Yeah, I really, really enjoyed it. I did end up knocking off a wee half star at the end because it was a bit abrupt. So I ended up rating it 3.75 stars. Yeah, I liked this one. It was good, fun, fast read. Okay, the next one I finished was a new release. I never buy new releases and don't tend to buy hardbacks because I usually prefer to just wait for the paperback. Hardbacks are so much more expensive and they're big and bulky, but sometimes when I see the hype, I can't resist. So I did go and get this one. I don't have it on me because I've already lent it to my friend. Immediately, I was like, you have to read this. It was Yesteryear by Carol Claire Burke. It was such a wild ride. If you don't know, which honestly it's been everywhere, if you're on any kind of book social media, you will have seen this book. It's about a trad wife influencer, and one day she wakes up in the time period that trad wives really had to do all these things in a farm in the 1800s, and it's kind of to get a taste of her own medicine in a way. And we're jumping between that and what's been happening in the present day, getting a picture of her character and the background to her life. I really, really liked it. It was so easy to read. The writing just flowed so well. You felt like you couldn't put it down. And I think the narration was done in such a way that the twist, you kind of can see kind of something, but I think that it was really, like, they buried the lead really well. I really, really enjoyed it. I definitely would recommend it. It wasn't a full 5 stars because after the resolution, there's still a couple of things that don't quite add up to me. Like, in the rush to the end point, I think some things were kind of sped over that needed a little bit more explanation because there's some things that just don't quite add up to me. I don't really understand. And I've seen a couple of people saying that, but this was a debut and I thought it was incredible. I hadn't heard of Carol Claire Burke before. I know she has a podcast, which I've started because I really loved this book. You could just tell this was a topic she was so interested in. You could tell that it was well researched and she'd really poured a lot into it. That really came across, and the writing was incredible. So if Carol Claire Burke brings out anything else, I will absolutely be reading it, and I rated this one 4.5 stars. The next book I finished was another audiobook, and it was And Now Back to You, which is the second book in the series with First Time Caller. It's called Heartstrings. I know there's another one coming out. I will definitely be listening to that. I have to complete it now. This one follows, so the first one is the radio host and a woman, and then just from the public. And then the second one is the weather guy from that radio station and the girl that does the weather on the TV. And they are like sent together to be storm chasers, which is quite fun. And it's about them. So this one I definitely was enjoying it more. I really liked the characters more in this one. They weren't as annoying, and it was definitely given like autism x ADHD, which I love that. That was really fun and cute. And then it just went on for too long. I remember thinking I was at the end, and I checked and I still had 20% left. And I was like, how can I still have nearly a full quarter left of this book? It really felt like it was wrapped up, and then we had another whole quarter to go, and I just didn't, it was just too long. Genuinely, it was just too long. It would have been a 3.5, but I ended up rating it the same as First Time Caller, 2.5, because I was liking it enough, and then it just kept going, and I said, I've had enough. So yeah, that's really all I have to say about that one. It was fine, it just went on too long. Alright, the next book I finished was Carrion Crow by Heather Parry. I really wanted to like this one. The premise is a girl wants to leave the family home and get married. Her mum is saying to her, you need to learn how to be a proper wife, and locks her in the attic with the book Mrs. Beaton's Book of Household Management, which was a real book from the time, and it just has recipes and tips on how to raise children and tips on how to clean your house, and she just locks it up there, literally with that book and a sewing machine, and that's it. She's up there in this tiny attic, and it's all from her point of view from the attic, and it flashes back to times before, why her mum is the way she is as well. You get some background on the mum's life, the family, and as time goes on, you realise that this girl has no idea how long she's been up in that attic for, and it gets really dark. It was really depressing and obviously horrible, the situation that she's in. If it was just that, I would have enjoyed it. I think like the horror of that, of being locked up there for, and you don't know how long you've been up there and you're kind of losing it, I think that's all really, like, it's a gothic. I was really interested in that premise. Then there was other stuff in it that was just so disgusting that I was like, I don't think I can finish this. I don't know if I even want to say the stuff out loud. It was so disgusting. I'm not talking blood and stuff, I can do that, fine. This was other like body stuff that was just, I could gag now thinking about it. It was so disgusting. And really I was thinking, I'm going to DNF this, and I actually did try, but I just can't. I'm really, really bad for not being able to DNF. I can't do it. I'm always like, what if something happens, a big twist, or it's a crazy ending and I just would never know. I need to know. So I did finish it, but I did struggle to finish it. I found it a really difficult read. Obviously because it was so depressing, but the grossness, I just can't do that. I have eyeliner on me. That was my main problem with this, which is I can read horror and everything, it's just like that gross stuff, I just can't do it. I just can't. So yeah, I really enjoyed the overall premise, and I enjoyed what it had to say about the time period and expectations on women and things like that. That was all really great. I just really struggled to finish it, and I ended up rating it a 3. There are other books of Heather Parry's that I want to read, and I think I still do want to read them. It was a well written and researched book. It just had some stuff that I struggled with. The next book I finished was an ARC I got from NetGalley, so it was on my phone, and it was The Caretaker by Marcus Cleaver, or Cleaver, I'm not 100% sure, I think it's Cleaver. And I really like this one. It's about a house where a man used to live and follow all these rules, all these crazy rules, like don't let the lights turn on at this time and lock all the windows at this time and things like that. And he has passed away and his wife's been doing it, but she is like, I need some time away, this is too much. She hires this girl who really needs some money, she's looking after her sister, and gives her the tape with all the rules on it and says, okay, you're hired to be my house sitter, you have to follow all these rules. So the girl goes over to the house for the weekend and has to follow all these rules, and it is creepy, like it's really creepy. What I really liked about it as well was the girl's really trying, like she's really trying to follow all the rules. Whenever she fails and things happen, you understand why she doesn't manage it, and I think that makes it so interesting to read, because it's not like these bad things are happening to her because she's doing wrong, or she's, you know, she's being stupid. She's trying her best and things are just still terrible. I enjoyed reading We Used to Live Here a couple of years ago as well, which is the same author, because I think that I actually get scared sometimes by the way he writes. Actually do get creeped out. I think with We Used to Live Here, I think it was originally a no sleep story on Reddit, and I do think you can tell, but the story's so good and he really knows how to write scary, creepy, like, oh, really creepy stuff into these books, and I really, really enjoy that. With this one, it had like sibling stuff in it. I always love to read like sibling relationships, so that was fun, and it had kind of a found footage kind of vibe because she has the tapes of the guy telling her the rules and stuff like that, so that was really cool. Yeah, and I thought the premise was really original and fun, and I really enjoyed it. Yeah, I definitely will read anything else he comes out with because I've liked the last two, and I rated this one 4, and I think I rated We Used to Live Here a 4 as well, so it was good. Okay, and the last book I finished this month was for my in-person book club, chapter 25, and it was Anxious People by Frederick Backman. I absolutely loved this book. It was my first time reading Frederick Backman. My brother got me this book for Christmas, and then it came up on book club, so that was fate. And I wasn't sure going in, and the writing's like a bit quirky, but oh my god, so good, so good. If you like books about people, if you want a book to like bring back some of your faith in humanity a little bit, it was so lovely. You go from like having a little laugh into nearly crying in the space of seconds every other page. It has so much emotion in it, and I just absolutely loved it. From the cover and stuff, there's another cover with 2 people on the front. From the cover and the title, I think I always thought it was like a normal people type of thing. I just assumed that, but it's actually about someone tries to rob a bank, and then they run into this open house of a flat that's for sale and accidentally take everybody that's in there hostage. And it's about the police trying to figure out who did it, and also about all the people who were caught up in that, their lives, their past, their relationships, how they all get on with each other. And it was so lovely. I absolutely loved it. Originally I went in and put 4.5, and then I was like, do you know what? No, this is a 5. Because it just made me feel so much. Yeah, I absolutely loved it. Just really enjoyed my time reading it, and yeah, just a really lovely book if you want something to make you feel something. I would absolutely recommend this. And if you've not read Frederick Backman before like me, I think this was a great place to start. I really enjoyed it. I really had fun. So if you're looking to start reading him, do the same as me. Get this one, because I really liked it. Okay, that was all 9 books that I read this month. Yeah, a bit of a mixed bag, all different genres, but a couple of really good ones in there. Really enjoyed. I think my top book would be Anxious People this month. I have a couple of books on the go right now that I haven't finished yet, going into May. So the first one is Assassin's Apprentice by Robin Hobb. This was the latest book to come up on my Spinny wheel from my Instagram, TikTok, YouTube Shorts videos, and I've been quite nervous because everybody loves these books. I've been seeing so much about them recently, and I got these wee second-hand ones. They're so cute. Really love it. I've not gone into a big fantasy world like this for a while, so I think it's going to take a lot of my attention, but I read the first few chapters and I'm liking the vibes so far, so I'm really excited to get more into this and see what is happening and if I like it as much as everybody else. Yeah, really excited. So you will definitely be hearing more about this. I've started it and it's going well. Another book I'm in the process of reading right now is Chocolat by Joanne Harris. Never read any Joanne Harris before. I remember my mum saying, oh, maybe you should read this, when I was like 15 years ago or something. And I was like, yeah, whatever. And then I think there's been a prequel come out recently or something. So all my family were talking about this book and I was like, do you know what? I never ever read it. So I borrowed this copy from my gran, which is like an original hardback, which is so cute. And I've started it. And it has magic in it. If my mum had told me 15 years ago it had magic in it, I maybe would have read it then. I didn't know it had magic in it, but it does. And it's so, so cute. It's about a woman and her daughter that go to this French town and open a chocolate shop, and about all the people in the town, and the priest hates her because it's Lent and she's like making everyone break their Lent promises by giving them all their favourite chocolates because she's like a wee bit psychic and she knows like what people's favourites are. So really, really fun so far. I've read about a quarter and I've kind of just been going into it when I want like a little brain break because it's a really nice read. I definitely immediately want to go to this town and this shop. So I really like it. I'm excited to finally be reading it and have a nice wee read on the go. So that's what I'm currently reading right now. I also have a few book club books for this month. So for May, Inklings is doing Rejection. And I've seen a lot about this. It's meant to be quite dark. I think it's like a anthology all about people getting rejected. But I think it's quite dark. It's not too long though. I thought it was longer than this. So I just picked this up the other day for the book club. I'm quite excited. I think it's going to be good, but not an easy read, that's for sure. I'm also doing the Besties book club with Books and Lala, and the book for that is The Geo Magician by Jennifer Mandula. It's a historical fantasy and there's a baby dinosaur in it, I think. So that sounds really fun. I got an ARC of it from NetGalley, so I will be reading that. I think that one goes to like the middle of this month, so I'll probably be reading that pretty soon. So really excited for that. Don't know much about it except there's dinosaurs and it's a historical fantasy, so that will be quite fun, I think. And for my in-person book club, chapter 25, the pick for me is Fundamentally. I haven't really heard much about this. I haven't seen much about it, to be honest. I know it's about a woman who goes to Iraq to have a job there, maybe to teach. I could be completely wrong about that. But yeah, looking forward to getting into this one, going in quite blind. So that should be fun. So that's my book club picks that I've got coming up for May. So I'll be talking about them next month. So hopefully I will enjoy them. I will also be continuing to do my spinny wheel. So anything else I read out with those will be from the spinny wheel. So definitely watch my shorts on here or follow my Instagram or follow my TikTok. They're all iona.library. So yeah, if you want to keep up with those, that's where you'll find them. And I've been thinking about maybe doing a summer wheel. So I have some stuff that could be good for like a summer ween vibe, but also some like more light-hearted stuff that could be a nice summery outside at the beach kind of read. So I might kind of see what I've got and see if I could do a wee summer wheel. I did an autumn wheel last year with like horrors and thrillers that felt specifically autumny. So yeah, feel free to let me know what you think of that idea. I would love to hear your feedback. Thank you so much again for watching this. Yeah, I'm enjoying it. I love to have a chat about books, so please feel free to comment down below any recommendations, any thoughts you had on any of these books if you've read them, questions, suggestions, anything. My favourite part about being on the book side of online is chatting to people, so would love to chat if anyone has anything they want to chat about. And yeah, please follow along. I'll definitely be back. I have some other ideas to do and I definitely want to continue doing these wrap-ups, so if nothing else, I will be back for those and I'll be continuing my short videos everywhere else, so check them out. Yeah, thank you so much everyone, and I'll see you guys in the next one.